Let the record reflect the presence of the defendant, Demons, his attorneys, assistant state attorney to the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the delay. My fault, not anybody else. I apologize for that. In any event, I think we're ready to proceed. So, Madam State, want to call your next witness, please?
State will call Felicia Holmes. And you're at this time the state offer state triple J, which was previously shown to defense. And your 9803.6 is a business record. And request
Any additional objections, counsel?
No additional objections, but objecting on the ground previously read.
Thank you. To be admitted.
Thank you.
Stage triple J will be marked stage 61.
61.
61. Thank you.
Counsel, where's your witness?
They were down the hall. With your permission, I send you a text message, Your Honor?
Yes. Good morning. Are you Ms. Holmes?
Yes, I am.
Welcome.
Hello.
Come on up here. This is our witness stand. Ms. Holmes, when you get there, what I'd like you to do is remain standing. Raise your right hand and be sworn. You get the first time. Thank you. Raise your right hand and be sworn.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Please state your full legal name for the record.
Felicia Holmes,
Please spell your first and last name for the court reporter.
Felicia, H-O-L-M-A.
Please have a seat. Ms. Holmes?
Yes, sir.
That microphone in front of you does not move back and forth. It will just up or down, but not back and forth.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, you may proceed.
Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Holmes.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Not good.
Are you cold?
No, I'm just, I don't feel comfortable.
Are you nervous?
I feel threatened.
So, Ms. Holmes, I want to start and just talk about who you are.
Yes.
Ms. Holmes, do you have any children?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury who is Mariah Hamilton?
My youngest daughter.
And how old is Mariah?
She's 22 right now.
And Mariah, did she have any romantic relationship with someone named Jamell Demons, also known as YNW Melly?
Yes, she did.
When was she involved in that romantic relationship with Melly?
I'm thinking maybe about 2016 or so till maybe 2019, 20.
Okay. Did you have the opportunity to meet Mr. Demons?
Yes, I did.
What did you refer to him as?
I call him Jamell Melly.
Do you see him here in the courtroom?
Yes, I do.
Where is he?
He's right here.
And what's he wearing?
A white turtleneck and a gray jacket.
Here, may the record reflect in court identification of the defendant.
Yes, the record will reflect an in-court identification of the defendant.
So in October of 2018, had you met the defendant prior?
Yes, I did.
How many times had you met him in person prior to that?
A couple.
A couple?
Maybe two maybe.
Okay. Did you follow him on social media?
I'm not sure. In 2018, I wasn't. No.
Okay. Did you know if he had social media at that time?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Okay. Did you have a social media account at that time?
Yes, I did.
And what was your social media handle?
I'm sorry.
What was your social media name?
My name? For which one?
For Instagram.
Instagram. It's like Bling Queen 258.
Okay. Did you have a Snapchat at that time?
I don't think so. If I did, I may have.
Okay. What about your daughter? Did she have an Instagram?
I'm pretty sure she did.
Okay. Did she have Snapchat?
I'm pretty sure she did.
Okay. So I'm going to show you what's been already admitted into evidence as State 61. There's a couple of videos and things on that I would like to ask you to some questions about.
Your Honor, we'd object as to the predicate being laid for this witness to testify to any of this material.
Thank you. Objection noted.
So I'm showing you what is titled Memories 2018 October 9th 4:58 UTC, Melly, Montana. Can you see that picture there on your screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Who is the female over there?
That's my daughter,
And which daughter is that?
Mariah.
Okay. Who else is in that photograph with her?
That's Jamell.
I want to go here to this image. This is 2018, November 11th, 23:53:26 UTC. Again, Melly, Montana. Who is pictured in this photograph?
My daughter, Mariah.
Do you recognize the individual in the back?
No.
Okay. Prior to coming into court yesterday, were you shown two photographs of the alleged victims in this case?
Yes, I was.
Were you able to identify them?
No, I was not.
In terms of your relationship with Anthony Williams and Chris Thomas, how many times have you met them?
Maybe Stack maybe twice. Juvy maybe once.
And do you know them by their real names?
No, I don't.
How did you refer to them?
Stack and Juvy.
Okay. So I want to go forward to some of the videos in this particular exhibit, specifically Memories 2018, October 18th, 2:17:49 UTC. Start with this one. I'm going to.
All that extra shit and like they leave the most important shit here.
So the image that is shown there. Do you recognize the person in that driver's license?
It's blurry.
Okay. I'm going to show you another video, the next one
The most
here.
important shit here. Like get right there, like you know you come back.
Whose driver's license is that?
That's my daughter.
The conversations and things that on there, do you recognize the voice?
I didn't really listen. I mean, you have to play it again.
Sure.
So be telling me, all that extra shit and like they leave the most important shit here.
Do you recognize the person who's speaking in that video?
Yes, I do.
Who is that?
That's Jamell.
Okay. So I want to go back to October 26th of 2018. Where were you living?
I was living in Cocoa.
And my geography is terrible, I think. How far away is Cocoa from Broward County?
About 3-4 hours.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a registered nurse.
Were you a registered nurse at that time as well?
Yes, I was.
Did you know the defendant's mother?
Yes, I do.
And who is she?
Jamie.
Have you met her prior to October 26th of 2018?
Yes, I have.
Have you communicated with her?
Yes, I did.
Did you have a phone number for her?
I'm pretty sure I probably did.
I'm not asking you to.
I don't know if I did or not. I can't remember.
Okay. So I want to go forward on October 26th of 2018 and talk about that early morning hours. Did you receive or hear a phone call or FaceTime video call in which the defendant was a participant?
I did overhear. I'm not quite sure exactly the context of the call, but I did overhear the phone call.
Okay. Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what woke you up that morning.
Just hearing my daughter's voice.
Okay. What was what was the tone of her voice without saying what she said?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember anything the defendant said on that video?
Not verbatim, no, I don't.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity to read the statement you gave in 2018?
I read the statement.
Okay.
But
Was it
I don't recall. I don't remember anything from that statement, but I do remember my deposition from December 22.
So the deposition, that would have been 6 months ago?
Yes.
Okay. I want to go, and when you spoke, you remember speaking with law enforcement in December of 2018?
I remember speaking with them, but I don't remember what they look like. I don't remember their names, but I do remember talking to someone.
Okay. So, Ms. Holmes, I want to ask you, were you honest and truthful with law enforcement when you spoke with them?
I would hope so. I mean, it was 2018. I went through a lot during that year, so I'm not sure where my mindset was at that time.
Did you lie to law enforcement?
I would hope not. But I don't remember what I said back. It was like 5 years ago.
Oh, of course. I understand it's been a long time. So in terms of the time frame, that was closer in time to the incident of October 26th of 2018?
If that's where you guys are saying it is.
You don't even remember?
I don't remember. Like I said, 2018 was a very hard year for me. My husband just went to prison. My father died. I had a lot going on, so
Of course.
I was really out of it.
Okay. And in terms of your conversations with the police officers that morning?
Yes. I do remember that they kind of bullied me and threatened my daughter to take her to jail for accessory after that. I do remember that.
Yes. And in terms of the statements that you made about what happened,
Yeah.
you don't have any recollection of
No.
that? Did you read this statement multiple times?
I looked at it and I just didn't recall it, and I don't know.
And so you indicated you hoped you were truthful with law enforcement.
Yes, I did.
I have to ask you to be more definitive. Were you truthful?
I don't remember what I said to them back then, so if I was to tell you something now, I could be lying. I don't want to lie on the stand because you're going to take me to jail. So I'm saying what you want me to say.
I do not want you to say anything. I want you to tell the truth.
Okay, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. So, Ms. Holmes, with regards to that day, did you lie to law enforcement?
I just
Objection,
answered that
asked and
for you.
answered.
Excuse me, overruled. Repeat your question.
I don't remember.
Excuse me,
Yes, sir.
only one person can talk at a time, and there was an objection. I just wanted to
Okay.
be clear. All right? You asked your question again.
Okay. So, Ms. Holmes, did you lie to law enforcement?
Not that I recall.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Okay. Going forward to the events of that day,
Yes.
when you heard that phone call, where were you?
I'm home.
Okay. Where was home in Cocoa?
Cocoa.
Who else was there at your house?
My kids.
When you heard the phone call, did you hear what had allegedly happened?
I heard that there might have been a shooting.
Okay. Did you see any pictures or videos of anyone that was injured at that point?
No, I did not.
Did you see the defendant on the screen of that video call?
I saw his face, yes.
In terms of the method of communication, do you know if it was a FaceTime call?
I assumed it was FaceTime. I couldn't say for sure what kind of call it was.
At the time of October of 2018 through December of 2018, did you know the defendant's phone number?
No, I don't.
Do you recall today what the defendant's phone number was?
No, I don't.
Okay. In terms of the information and stuff that you have regarding that phone number, was that saved in your phone at that time?
It may have been. I can't remember.
Do you remember what phone number you had?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
So, Ms. Holmes, to go back in terms of looking at your statement or any of the other things, refresh your recollection as to what the defendant's phone number was and what you had at that time.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Sure. You said you didn't remember the defendant's phone number.
No, I don't.
Would looking at a copy of your statement help refresh your memory as to what?
No, I don't think it would.
Okay. Would you like to try to do so?
You have to look at it for you, sure.
Okay. And so, counsel, on for the record, I'm showing her page 3 of 8. And I'm going to ask you, Ms. Holmes, to just read this part silently to yourself.
Okay.
And we're going to start here, this, and through here, okay? Silently to yourself. When reviewing that, does that refresh your recollection?
No, it doesn't.
Your Honor, pursuant to 90.8035, the state would move at this time to read into the record the relevant portions.
Objection, Your Honor.
Can I see, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's 12 o'clock. Let's take our lunch and recess. Don't discuss the case. Don't film any opinion about the case. Don't allow anyone to discuss the case in the presence. There's certainly no research, all right? Leave them okay on your chair. Sorry for the delay. What's that? Felicia Holmes remains on the stand. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the delay. It's my fault. In any event, I think we're ready to proceed now. Ms. Holmes, I just remind you, you're under oath.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Proceed, counsel.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about your deposition.
Yes.
Do you recall, and you've been provided a copy of that deposition?
Yes, I got, my lawyer got provided a copy.
When you, in that deposition, were you asked if your prior
Objection.
statement...
Improper impeachment.
I heard it over. You can ask your question, counsel.
Ms. Holmes, prior to that deposition starting, were you given your prior statement to review?
What you mean?
Were you?
I understand. The deposition that I did on December 22nd? Yes,
Yes.
it was given to my lawyer yesterday, right before,
Oh.
briefly to look at, yes.
So the deposition you that was
It was
provided
given to my
to
lawyer
you
yesterday, yes it was.
Okay. So, do you remember coming into that deposition?
Yes, I do. I was in jail, put me in jail. Yes,
Correct.
I remember.
And so it's clear in terms of you don't want to be here.
You're making me be here. Yes, I have
Yes.
a band on my leg. I'm a nurse. I can't even work properly. Yes.
Yes. You were under house arrest because you failed to comply with the subpoena.
No, you did not serve
Excuse
me.
me, sustain. Listen, how we're going to do this is you ask your questions, counsel, ma'am, listen to her question, answer her question.
Yes, I
All right?
am. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. So going back to the deposition.
Yes.
On December 14th of 2022.
Yes.
Do you remember coming to my office?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember being asked questions at that time?
Yes, I do.
Do you recall being given a copy of your prior statement of December 12th, 2018?
No, I don't remember that. I don't remember anything, but I'm pretty sure I do.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is permission to approach her on it
With what, counsel?
for deposition.
Objection, Your Honor.
I have to give her an opportunity to.
I saw my
Excuse me. There's no question pending of you. All right, you can proceed, counsel.
Okay. So, counsel, I'm showing her page 10, line 10 through 17. Okay, so just read them silently to yourself. So back on December 14th, 2022, were you asked if you need to make any corrections or deletions to the statement of December of 2018?
That's what the deposition said, judicially.
And did you indicate that there was no corrections or deletions in those statements?
I don't remember, but that's what's on the deposition.
Okay. So, December of 2022, you said that this was a correct statement.
Objection.
Sustained.
So, Ms. Holmes, is the December 2018 statement that you gave correct and honest?
Objection. Asked and answered.
Excuse me. You have to let, I know, understand you're trying to answer the question, Ms. Holmes, but when they raise an objection, let me answer the objection first.
Yes,
all right? Objection notice overruled. Question is the statement, repeat your question.
Is this December 2018 statement correct and honest?
I don't remember the December 2018 statement.
In December of 2022,
Yes, ma'am.
did you state that it was an honest and correct statement?
That's what you put in the deposition. I don't remember saying it, so I can't remember verbatim what happened that day. I remember some parts of this deposition, but not all.
Okay, is there anything that you need to refresh your recollection to determine whether or not I'm being truthful and accurate as to what the question was in your answer?
I don't know to say that.
Okay.
Is that a question?
I've asked if there's anything that
Excuse
was...
me, one at a time. All right? Just one at a time. Let her finish her answer before you ask the next question.
So, Ms. Holmes, is there anything that would help refresh your recollection?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Would the audio of the statement of December 2018 help you?
Objection.
What's the objection?
It's irrelevant. She testified 3 times.
Excuse me. Thank you. Not us to this. Go ahead. Overruled.
I don't know. I don't.
So, Ms. Holmes, with regards to the events of October 26th of 2018,
Yes, ma'am.
did you travel down here to Broward County?
Yes, I did.
Who did you come with?
My daughter Mariah.
Okay, where did you go?
We went to one of Jamell's friend's house.
And whose house was that?
Frida.
I know approaching has been previously shown to defense counsel and marked as states triple N for identification purposes only. Ms. Holmes, do you recognize the two individuals in that photograph?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize them?
I know Frida from being on Instagram from rapping. He's a rapper.
Okay, any other individual in that photograph?
My daughter's boyfriend.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I apologize, I didn't hear that.
I'm sorry.
I didn't hear your answer. Could you
Which
repeat?
one? Do I recognize?
Thank you.
I do recognize Frida from Instagram for being a rapper, and I recognize Jamell from dating my daughter.
You're at this time, state we request to move states triple N in as the next numbered exhibit.
Any objection?
Relevance.
Overruled. It'll be admitted.
States triple N, be marked states 62.
This is the photo that you can see on your screen that you just identified? Okay. So when you said Frito, is this the individual's house you went to?
Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Holmes, how much money has the defendant's manager given you since the October of 2018?
Objection. Relevance.
Why don't you come sidewalk?
Okay, so I'll ask again.
Yes, ma'am.
How much money have you gotten from the defendant, Jamell Demons' manager?
None.
And with regards to that specific statement? Ms. Holmes, you have formerly had a credit union
I
account?
yes, I do launch credit union
Okay. And at Launch Credit Union, you banked there for a number of years?
many years.
The credit union that you've been at, it's been your account, and I won't put your account number on the record for that reason.
Your Honor, I object to this line of questioning based on the court's ruling.
Objection, no, it's overruled. Proceed.
So your testimony is that you have never been given money whatsoever.
I've never been given money for personal use.
Okay. So the question is, how much money have you been given by the defendants?
For a vacation for all of us, for him, his wife, and me to pay for it. As far as he gave me $5,000 for Airbnb, in which I gave him $1,000 to deposit that.
So he did give you money?
Not for personal use.
Okay.
Excuse me, can we clarify who he is,
Objection, Your Honor.
Jameson Francois?
Objection, no, just clarify, counsel.
Sure. So it's clear, who is Jamison Francois?
He's trapped. He's Nelly's manager.
And you mentioned his wife as well. Who's his wife?
I used to know her by AA.
So AA and his wife.
We were all good friends.
So I'm going to go now what's been previously shown to defense counsel and marked as states triple M. It's a composite of 17 pages. Did you have an opportunity to review that prior to coming into court today?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And in terms of the individuals and the phone numbers that are on that, do you recognize your own phone number?
No, I do not.
Okay. Going forward through the contents of that particular item, do you recognize a conversation about a snake?
No, I do not. I know they had a snake. I don't recognize this conversation.
Okay. With regards to the conversation about the snake that you do remember, what do you remember about the snake?
That they had a snake.
What happened to it?
Objection, relevancy.
Sustained.
Aaron, may we approach that?
Sure.
So, Ms. Holmes, I want to ask you a question as to what was your daughter's phone number back in October of 2018?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Is there anything that would refresh your recollection as to what her phone number was?
No, because I don't remember mine.
You don't even remember your own?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
In terms of, did you review your statement of December 18th of December 14th of, December 12th of 2018? Did you review that statement prior to testifying today?
Yes, I did.
And in that statement, were you asked, what is your daughter's phone number?
Objection.
Overruled.
I don't remember.
If I were to show you the statement, would that help refresh your recollection as to whether or not you were asked that question?
I don't think you would, no. But you can show it to me.
You have permission to approach?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 3 of 8. If you could just read silently to yourself. Okay. Looking at that, does that refresh your recollection as to what your daughter's phone number was?
I still don't recognize the number. It doesn't for me, but I don't know if that's her number. I don't recognize the number.
Okay, so you don't recognize the number.
Yeah, I got 3 daughters, so I don't know.
Understood on that one. So, do I have permission to treat the witness as hostile?
Objection. I want you to sidebar, please. and gentlemen, I need some time with the attorneys. Please, I'm going to ask you to go to your room. Do not discuss the case. Don't form any opinion about the case. Don't allow anyone to discuss the case in your presence and certainly no research. If there's no case on your chairs. Thank you. Let the record reflect that jury stepped out. Counsel remain along with the defendant. Witnesses on stand. Ms. Holmes, my understanding from counsel's side is that you have an attorney here with you. Is that right? You want to speak to your attorney? Any objection to that? by the way?
Yes.
What's
Yes,
the
Your Honor.
objection?
The witness is on the stand, and for the state to suggest to a witness who has already been sworn and is in the middle of testimony that she goes and talks to her lawyer, this type of intimidation and coercion, I think the rule is that way. So we do object to that. It's intimidation.
Well, let me ask you this. Is it something you think you need to talk to your lawyer about?
I'll talk to her. I don't think I need to, but I don't know what the problem is. I'm answering her question like she wants. I'm not sure what's going on.
Well, so my question to you is, do you want to talk to your lawyer?
Yes, I will talk to her.
All right, so we're going to be in recess. You talk to your lawyer, and you go ahead. You can step outside, all right?
Okay.
And I'm going to continue with the argument here with the attorneys. So I guess this is the concern I have. You're asking me to declare her a hostile witness. It appears to me she is. I don't know if it's what's your position on it. She's at, that would allow her to ask these leading questions as she suggested in the sidebar. The problem with any of the questions, though, I don't want you to be asking specific questions that things that she said previously she doesn't remember, and that you're just going to go ahead and put testimony before the jury. I mean, that's, you know, it's not the attorney's questions that are in evidence. I mean, she doesn't acknowledge it, or even after asking leading questions, she's basically saying, you know, she doesn't know, or that's the end of it. I mean, you can't go much further than that. You can't put in evidence. Didn't you say X, Y, and Z to the police officer? She's not acknowledging she said it. I can't see, how you do that. You can't.
So, Your Honor, I think I can ask the questions because
What question?
in terms of, did you provide this phone number as the number for your daughter? Did you provide this number for the phone number regarding Mr. Demons? Did you provide this information?
What information?
Whatever the particular statement may be that we're at that point in the questioning. For example, did you provide the phone and say previously that you talked on FaceTime with the defendant? That you talked to him on the FaceTime on the 772-713-9807 phone number. So judges, in terms of if I'm going to then impeach her with some other outside statement or some other prior consistent statement that she has made at some other proceeding at that point, that's the concern as to her perjuring herself on that. So I think that's why it's important that she be allowed to speak to her attorney on that issue. And in terms of the prior statement on that, I still maintain that she has endorsed its authenticity and accuracy. Your Honor was provided with a copy of that deposition that the state referenced when we were talking about, and she indicated she was honest and truthful in that deposition, and she then endorsed the prior statement. So the prior statement should be allowed in on that, and if there's no concern as to any improper or anything on the jurors, because they will be instructed, as they always are, that no statements by the attorneys are evidence.
Can you be heard?
Yes, please. Your Honor, first of all, the state is now conflating issues. What we objected to and alerted the court to because we knew that this debacle was going to take place, I think it is evident that, yes, it appears as though the witness is not a major fan of the state. That's true. The state knew that going in. This is no surprise. These cases use the very language, surprise. In other words, what the state intended to do under a ruse at 803, 90.803 Section 5 ruse is put on the witness to impeach that witness for that sole purpose of impeaching the witness, to introduce an out-of-court statement that is inadmissible because the state understood that she recanted. The state, under the pretext, oh, we don't know that she's hostile. We just think her recollection is failing. And we believe under 90.803 subsection 5, we can just read her statement. Unfortunately for the state, the Supreme Court has made it extremely clear that that witness has to vouch for the accuracy of the statement at the time it was made. And the Supreme Court also said in that context that in the context of an 803.5 exception, the contents of the record substitutes for the witness's testimony. This means that the reliability of the assertions rests upon the veracity of a witness who is present and testifying. The state is calling into question her veracity and calling her pretty much a liar, saying that she's feigning recollection and now attempting to essentially introduce a report of a police statement into evidence by the state testifying, asking the court to let the jury know that all this stuff that we're about to say, upon which we want to rest our case, is don't take it from me because I'm just a lawyer saying it, but then there's no point in saying it because there's no way to get it through this witness. She can't put her on to impeach, which is exactly what she's trying to do. The 803.5 is a ruse, and that's not working out, and now she's doubling back to the original, which is let me call her hostile so that I can lead, and instead of eliciting the testimony from her, I'm going to read it out of this report and say, didn't you say that? So what happens is we're going to now be in a situation where she's asking the state to tell the jury, hey, what the lawyers say is not evidence. So it doesn't matter that this witness is going to say, I do not remember that number that you just read to me. That you just let me see. I told you I don't remember it. So I now the state wants to come back to the podium and blurt that number out. She just said she doesn't recall it. So what's the point of saying it other than to introduce it into the record through the state attorney's lips? So rules don't allow her to do what she's trying to do.
Thank you.
So you're in further support of treating a witness as a hostile witness. This has previously been provided to defense, but this is the Instagram production for Miss Felicia Holmes that I'm showing the court now that she has previously identified as her specific Instagram, and that it is saying the promises that were made to us by YNW for me to quit my job and they would take care of us were all lies. They didn't want us talking with prosecutors, but now they have all disappeared. I quit my job based on what Track and his wife or company said. Now look, we can't go home. We're spending all my money I worked for and they taking trips and enjoying life. If you think I was a beast before, wait until this trial. I'm not holding anything back. I'm doing what I should have done in the beginning. They can call me Miss Snitch Bitch. So Judge, it's very clear from this record that my intention and what the witness has represented to me in all shapes and forms that she was going to be honest and truthful. So to say that it's improper for calling her just for the purposes of impeachment is incorrect. So to continue on in that same Instagram production, and this is in June of 2022, Felicia Holmes is saying, "They made me quit. Told me that they would take care of us until trial was over. But guess what? Lies as usual. I was making $9,000 weekly. I didn't need shit from them, but everyone begging and pleading. Now they all ghost. I got something for Track though. He lied to me and my child for the last time." Again, saying you're going to air him out to the prosecutor. So Judge, in terms of, so that's in defense of the representation of counsel that is just being called for impeachment. It's also clear that this witness has received multiple benefits from the defendant based on her own statements there, that she has endorsed that that was her Instagram on that.
So, counsel, there's a couple things going on here. Number one is you indicated that it was the testimony was going to be admitted because it was in essence I forget the statute number.
9803 sub 5, it's a past recollection reported.
Past recollection recorded, and you
Correct.
gave me the polite case.
Yes.
And that indicates that you have to have a proper foundation, but it has to be not only there's a proper foundation, but it has to, the hearsay statement was inadmissible in that case because the witness did not vouch for its accuracy or correctness, which is what we have here. The witness isn't vouching for the correctness or accuracy of the statement. So it doesn't meet that criteria. On the other issue about impeachment, this is not what she said. She said gave me a different answer. What I tried to read before was something from a couple of cases, and again, the synopsis at the end of it. This is I'm just reading again from the SL, a child case, v. State 993 Southern 2nd 1108. It just says the Florida Rules of Evidence provide that prior inconsistent statements are admissible as substantive evidence if the declarant testifies at the trial or hearing subject to cross-examination regarding the statement, and the statement is inconsistent with the declarant's testimony given under oath, subject to the penalty of perjury at a trial, hearing, or other proceeding, or in a deposition. Goes on and says, interpreting this position, the Supreme Court of Florida recognized that a statement given during a police investigation is not a statement given at an other proceeding. So, then if you agree, I don't know where we're going with this, counsel, respectfully. It seems to me under either scenario, that statement doesn't come in. Now, I do have a message from Mr. Bears, B-E-R-E-S. He says he's Ms. Holmes' attorney. He would like to speak with me. I don't know what he wants to talk with me about. To be candid with you, I'm assuming it's this testimony. But anything he could say right here in open court, I don't have an issue with that.
That's fine, Your Honor. I really question the purpose in advising my client, Ms. Holmes, to consult me for a lawyer. I take it as an implicit threat to Ms. Holmes. We have an agreement that she comes in here today to testify. She's done that. She's honored her agreement. And, she's answered all the questions put to her. She may not be answering the questions to the satisfaction of the state, but she has fulfilled her agreement. And now Ms. Holmes is again placed in fear. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. All right, let's, anybody need a restroom break or anything? You ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Pardon me?
Judge, I think someone on the fence.
I need to go to.
Sure. We'll take a short recess. on up, Ms. Holmes. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Jury entering.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Please be seated. Let me once again request the votes for a jury that's furnished to the gentlemen, city council, the assistant attorneys, ladies and gentlemen, jury, and our witnesses home for me to understand. Apologize for the delay. Council, you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please.
Okay, Ms. Holmes, when we left off, we were talking about a pet snake.
Yes,
Do you remember there being a pet snake?
I remember you talking to me about it yesterday.
Okay. And with regards to that snake, you recall it unfortunately passed away.
I'm pretty sure probably, I'm not sure it's not here, I'm pretty sure.
Do you remember the name of that pet snake?
No, I don't.
And in terms of the owners of that snake, do you remember who owned it?
I just know it was, I know who the owner was, it was in the house with where Mariah lived.
Okay. Where in Mariah lived at that time?
She lived in Miramar.
And you know the address?
No, I don't.
Who did she live with?
She lived with a boyfriend, but you know.
Okay. Are you telling the ladies and gentlemen of this jury that you don't remember your phone number in
I'm
October
telling you guys,
2018?
I do not remember my phone number. I don't remember.
And are you telling the ladies and gentlemen of this jury that you don't remember your daughter's phone number?
No, I do not remember my daughter's phone number.
And there's nothing that would refresh your memory or recollection whatsoever?
Objection,
That's 4
asked
years
and
ago.
answered.
Overruled.
That was 4 years ago. I've had so much trauma in my life since then.
Of course. So, is it fair to say that you were worried about Melly when you came down here to Fort Lauderdale on October 26, 2018?
Was I worried about him? Yes, I was.
You were worried about him because he had just been involved in a drive-by?
No, because they said his friends had been in a drive-by.
Okay. And you were worried about him because he was hiding in some bushes?
Objection.
I don't remember him being bushes.
Okay. What do you remember?
I sustain the objection.
What do you remember?
I just remember him saying for us to come, when you come get him.
When you made contact with him later that same day at Frito's house,
Yeah.
is it fair to say he had no blood on him?
No, he didn't have any brother.
And is it fair to say that he left Frito's house and went up to a video shoot that afternoon evening?
Yes, he did.
Did you go to that video shoot?
No, I didn't.
Did Mariah live with Mr. Demons after the homicide for a period of time?
Yes, she did.
Did she live in a condo in Miami with him?
Yes, she did.
Okay. Have you made other statements about the events of October 26th of 2018?
I don't remember making any other statements.
Do you recall a Instagram conversation with the co-defendant Cortlen Henry?
I don't remember it.
Okay, if I may approach, I'll see see if this refreshes your recollection as to that conversation. It's 3 pages.
Is it more, Council?
Not yet, Your Honor.
I don't remember it. I don't remember.
You don't have any recollection of that?
I don't remember.
Is that your Instagram, Lane Queen 258?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and the conversation that you don't recall on that whatsoever?
Yeah, I don't remember it.
Okay. Is your testimony here today that you lied in those statements?
The line in my statements.
The allegations that you made to Mr. Henry?
I don't make those allegations, so I don't.
Do you remember sending screenshots of those allegations to a detective?
I remember sending a detective something stating that I didn't threaten Bortlen.
No.
That's I remember that.
You remember sending screenshots of conversations?
I remember telling him that I did, because he reached out to me asking me that I threatened to kill Bortlen. And I said, no, I did not threaten Bortlen.
Okay.
I remember that.
Was there any threats made to you by the defendant?
No, not at all.
In terms of your daughter, Mariah, where is she?
I don't know.
After this incident, did she live with the family of the defendant?
She's always lived down there. Before this incident, she always lived there.
And it's your testimony to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury here today that you saw Jamell Demons on October 26th of 2018.
I think I saw him.
That you spoke with him and heard him on the FaceTime conversation.
I did speak to him, yes.
And it's your testimony that he indicated that it was some sort of shooting that occurred.
Yes, I did, yes.
Okay, and it's your testimony that you saw him on your daughter's cell phone as a video call.
I saw him.
Is it your testimony today that after that you called Jane King?
Yes, I did call Jane.
And in terms of the conversation with Jane King, that occurred immediately after the FaceTime?
Probably not immediately, but sometime after. I'm not quite sure the time. I don't remember the time, what time it was.
Okay. And it's your testimony to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury today that you were dishonest in your first statement?
I don't remember my first statement.
Okay. Is it your testimony to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury that you would lie?
I don't remember my first statement. I have no reason to lie to you.
Yes or no? Did you lie to police?
I did not lie to you. No.
Yes or no? Did you lie to police?
No. I didn't lie to you. I don't remember my first statement. You're trying to make me say I remember my first statement. I didn't. For me to say no, I didn't lie with me. I remember my first statement. I don't remember it, so I don't remember.
Well, if you need more time to look it over, I have a copy of it.
I looked it over and I still don't remember it.
Okay. Well,
I did it over 100 times. I don't remember.
Well, if you'd be so kind as to do it one more time.
Yeah, sure.
You can say that to this jury that this is not truthful.
Yes.
Please.
Objection asked and answered 5 times, Judge.
Take objection noted. Over.
I honestly, God, I do not remember any of this on here. Like, I don't remember talking. I don't remember. I had a hard time that year, so it's a lot that I don't remember about that year.
Is it your practice to lie to law enforcement?
Objection.
Excuse me, can I
I'm
see
just
the
a
quiet, please.
So, Ms. Holmes, is it the transcript that you're saying is on that?
Sustained.
I don't know.
Excuse me, sustain the objection.
Okay, so going back to the relationship with your daughter and defendant,
Yes.
how long did that last?
3 years. Not quite sure how.
Okay. During the course of that relationship, did she have multiple photographs of him?
I'm pretty sure she did.
Videos?
I'm pretty sure she did.
After this incident, on October 26, 2018, at Frito's house, is it your testimony that your daughter went upstairs with Mr. Demons?
She did. They did go upstairs.
They went upstairs. And do you know about what time you got to Broward County?
I probably got to Broward. Maybe I can't really remember the time. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. But 1 o'clock was after lunch because we went to right after. So it was after. It was lunchtime. It was 1 o'clock.
Do you remember going to lunch?
Yes.
Do you remember where you went to lunch?
I don't remember which restaurant.
Do you remember who you went with?
My daughter and AA.
And that's James Francois' wife?
Yes.
And do you remember your testimony to the jury that you remember the defendant, how he was dressed without blood on his clothing?
I don't remember what he had exactly what he had on, but I just remember that there was no blood because I would have been that would have freaked me out. So I know he didn't have any blood on.
No blood on him. Is it your testimony to this jury in terms of that you went to Frito Bang or Frederick Gibbons' house?
Yes.
No. Is it your testimony to the jury that there were other individuals present at that house?
Yes.
Who was it?
I don't know.
Do you recognize any of the individuals?
No, I don't.
Okay. Your daughter, she was present?
Yes, she was.
And in terms of your appearance here today,
Yes.
you don't want to be here.
Yeah, you don't know. You made on here.
I did.
Yes, you
So,
did.
and in terms of you were served with a subpoena and
Never
prior-
served. You never served.
and so you were ordered by the court to show up.
You never served me originally. That was a lie.
And in terms of your job,
Yes.
did you quit your job?
I got fired because you put me in jail.
And prior to that,
Yes.
before you were put in jail, did you quit your job?
No.
Okay. So you never quit your job.
I had to leave because you told my lawyer to put a warrant out for me. So I had to leave my job.
Okay. So you left your job.
Yes.
Did the defendant ever offer to pay for you and your daughter?
No, I live my own way.
Have you ever made things contrary to that?
I don't remember.
So I may approach her?
Got our objection.
Just show counsel.
Sure.
Can we approach?
Sure. Are you done with that?
Okay. Ms. Holmes, were you ever told the defense, or the defendant rather, would take care of you and pay for your bills?
No.
Have you ever made a statement that is different than that?
I've never said anything like that.
If I may approach her?
Sure. If you would just read this. I don't remember that.
Okay.
Getting money for my bills.
So, Ms. Holmes, is it your statement testimony that you never stated the promises that were made to us by YNW for me to quit my job and they would take care of us were all lies? They didn't want us talking with prosecutors, but now they've all disappeared. You never said that before.
I don't remember saying anything like that.
Objection, Your Honor. Move mistrial.
Thank you. Why don't you go sidewalk?
Ms. Holmes, did you ever say the defendant made you quit your job?
I never said anything like that. I know it's never made me quit my job.
Objection.
If I may approach her? I'm going to show you this next. Okay. So, Ms. Holmes, I'm going to ask you again. Have you ever made a statement that the defendant made you quit your job, that they would take care of us until the trial was over?
I never say anything like that.
Okay. So you're denying making that statement?
I never say anything like that.
Oh.
Objection. Your Honor, can I just have a standing objection so we don't keep interrupting?
Thank you. Any, Steve, if you heard on the standing objection?
Whatever defense is
That's
chooses to
fine. Go
proceed.
ahead.
Okay. So, Ms. Holmes, in terms of you made a statement to the effect of you were told to quit your job and the defense would take care of us.
Objection.
No.
Excuse me.
The defense? No.
Why don't you come
Never said
sidewalk?
anything like that.
And we have another motion.
Ladies and gentlemen, there was an objection made to the last question. I've made a determination that was an inappropriate, improper question, and the way it was phrased was totally improper, and therefore I sustain the objection. I am instructing you that you are to disregard the question. All right? I'm going to ask counsel to rephrase the question. Go ahead.
So it's clear. Ms. Holmes, did the defendant ever make you a promise to quit your job and that they had us?
Objection. Asked and answered.
Thank you. Overruled. Proceed.
I don't remember saying anything like that.
So your testimony is that you've never said that.
I don't remember.
Excuse me, counsel, she answered the question, all right? Let's move on.
So with regards to your statements with Cortlen Henry, do you remember speaking and talking about your daughter with Cortlen Henry?
No, I don't. When was that? I don't remember.
Sure. When was that? Here, I'll give it to you again. This was February 5th of 2021. Did you send that to you?
Oh, no, I don't remember that.
You don't remember that? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you talk to Cortlen Henry about your daughter's involvement in this case?
No, not that I can recall.
Ms. Holmes, did your daughter tell you what happened in this case?
Objection.
No.
What's the objection?
Calls for hearsay. It's immaterial.
Not what the statement said, did you say something about the case? It's overruled.
No,
Not
she
what
never
was
told me
said.
about-
Just,
she
did
never
you have
told
a,
me
excuse me, not what was said, was there a conversation?
Was there a conversation that your daughter told you what happened in this case?
What do you mean what happened?
Did your daughter
No,
ever
she never told me. She hasn't. I asked my daughter, did she know anything about this case? And she said no.
Have you ever made a statement different than that?
Not that I can recall. No, I don't remember saying anything like that.
May I approach her?
Yes, ma'am.
We object.
Why don't you show it to counsel first?
Sure.
Can we approach?
Yes.
Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, take a short recess. Don't discuss the case, don't form any opinion about the case, don't allow anyone to discuss the case in your presence. Further no research, just leave your notepads on your chairs. Want to come sidebar again, please? We're in recess. Please be seated. And remind you, Ms. Holmes is still on the road. Counsel, please continue.
Let me let Ms. Holmes, I can ask you, did your daughter tell you, did you have a conversation with your daughter about what happened on October 26th of 2018?
Yes, I asked her if she knew anything about that.
No. Did she tell you what happened? Without, no, she did
Just
not.
so she didn't know.
Have you ever made a statement that is different than that?
I don't know.
Your Honor, we'd object to lack of foundation, calls for hearsay, speculation, unless they can establish that that witness was present.
Thank you. The objection noted. That's what I previously ruled on sidebar. Proceed to your approach.
Showing you your messages from Instagram from February 5th of 2021.
Who was that Instagram? Is that the one the Instagram stands with Bortlen?
Ma'am,
I don't
sorry.
remember. I don't remember that Instagram.
Look at it.
I already looked at it. You're going to show it to me.
So is the...
I don't remember that. You showed it to me like 3 times already.
So you don't recall making
I don't
a
recall
statement
making a
from...
statement. No.
Excuse me, one at a time, please. Let her finish her answer before you ask the next question.
So you don't recall making that statement?
No, I don't.
So you don't recall saying...
Objection.
Sustained.
So, Ms. Holmes, in terms, you said that your daughter didn't tell you.
Objection, asked and answered.
Sustained.
So did you ever make a statement that's different than that?
Objection, asked and answered.
Sustained.
Into the statements that, with regards to October 26th of 2018. Is it your testimony to the jury that you remember coming to Fort Lauderdale?
Objection, asked and answered.
Sustained. Listen, I just want one of you making objections. Whoever's going to handle it.
Yes, sir.
All
I
right?
apologize.
Ms. Holmes, is it your testimony you don't remember why you came down?
I told you why I came down.
Okay, why is that?
Objection, asked and answered.
Sustained.
Ms. Holmes, have you ever let me rephrase. Ms. Holmes, did your daughter ever threaten to cooperate with law enforcement?
Objection.
Sustained.
Ms. Holmes, did you threaten to cooperate with law enforcement?
Objection, asked and answered.
Different question.
Why don't you come sidewalk? I want to see the question, please.
Ms. Holmes, did you ever make any statements about what happened on October 26th of 2018?
Objection, asked and answered.
I don't know what statement you're talking about. Rephrase your question to specific.
Ms. Holmes, did you ever make any statements specific to what was happening in the car on October 26th of 2018 prior to the homicide?
Objection.
Thank you. I still come on the sidewalk, please.
So, Ms. Holmes, I want to ask, were you present when your daughter spoke with law enforcement?
She was 17 and I had been present.
No. Do you recall about when that happened?
If she was 17, that had to happen in 2018.
Okay. Without getting into what she said on that, do you remember where that statement was taken?
No, I don't.
When you came down to Fort Lauderdale, was your daughter concerned for Mr. Dennis?
Objection. Cause for conclusion on part of this witness.
Based on your daughter's demeanor, how was she?
Objection.
Sustained.
When you arrived in Fort Lauderdale and saw Mr. Demons, did you ask him what happened?
Objection. Asked and answered.
Overruled.
I'm sorry, repeat the question?
When you arrived in Fort Lauderdale, did you ask Mr. Demons what had happened?
No, I did not.
Nothing further.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
You came here and one of your first, let me get it.
Objection, Your Honor, improper.
I haven't asked you.
Excuse me, Counsel, you direct your comments to.
I'm sorry, I haven't asked anything yet.
Ask your question.
When you first took the stand, you said, I feel threatened.
Yes, sir, I do.
Who do you feel threatened by?
Objection, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Christine Bradley, the prosecutor's office.
This prosecutor.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Anything else to this witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
You said you feel threatened by
Of
me.
course.
Okay. Did you fail to appear for numerous court appearances?
No, he never served me. Lied.
Okay.
He lied to the court.
And with regards to, did you work in Redding, California?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Immaterial.
Overruled.
And so that was a location you were at?
That's why I was traveling nurse at. Yes.
Okay. And in terms of the prosecution, you have been served on various occasions to testify.
You served me a subpoena on November to be the next weekend. I was in California, 10 hours away. It wasn't even served correctly.
And prior to that, you were served with a subpoena in
Never.
February of 2019.
You never served me. I know you served it to a location I didn't live at anymore.
Do you recall coming to the courthouse in February of 2019?
Objection beyond the scope.
Excuse me.
Anything about the courthouse tonight.
Excuse me. Come sidebar, please.
So, Ms. Holmes, you even went so far as to hire an attorney
Yes,
to
I
try
did.
not to show up.
I sure did.
And has the state offered you any money?
The state basically has me on a monitor. I have to go to my job with this. It's embarrassing. People think I'm a criminal. The state has ruined my life.
And in terms of your feelings and ill will towards the state and myself.
I just feel like you lock up innocent people.
And does that influence your testimony today?
It's not influencing my testimony.
Have
No,
you-
I'm telling you,
Have you- that's not-
I don't
there
know
can
what
be-
Excuse me, hold on. Only one of you can talk at a time. You ask the question, counsel, you answer it, and when you let her finish her question, and then when she starts answering the question, you let the witness answer her question, all right?
Yes, Your Honor. So that my question was non-responsive on that one.
Ask your question.
So, Ms. Holmes, in terms of the court order that was issued,
Yes.
you're aware that that was found to be valid?
No, I'm not aware of that at all.
Okay. You hired an attorney to go and represent you at the Fourth District Court of Appeals?
He hadn't hired an attorney because you tried to get him this far.
And no, that's a false statement.
Objection.
Excuse me, counsel, you're not testifying.
I
all right?
agree on
You
that.
Excuse me, you asked a question, all right? That's it, you asked the question.
And so, Ms. Holmes, with regards to that, you hired an attorney,
Yes.
and you then tried to get any sort of court order requiring you to be here in court thrown out.
No, what I did was I hired an attorney because you were saying you served me the subpoena that you never served.
And that was found to be valid.
You never served me a subpoena that was never, you never served me.
Oh.
I've never seen a subpoena from you from those addresses that you said you served. Those
So-
are not my addresses.
Your testimony said you have never been served to appear in court.
Objection,
I've
that's
served,
an
I've never
answer.
been-
Sustained, excuse me, sustained.
And so, with regards to your feeling threatened on that, have I ever any sort of physical violence against you?
No.
Do you have any written threats from me?
It's intimidating. You've intimidated me this whole time. As of now.
And in terms of your participation in this case,
Yes.
you understand that you were served a subpoena to appear here today?
You served a subpoena after you arrested me.
And
You served
you-
a subpoena at the jail when I was in Broward County.
And you understand you were here pursuant to that court order?
I'm here.
And that requires, under the law, to comply with court orders to, and that compel attendance of witnesses.
I've been complying.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Anything further?
No, sir.
Thank you. This witness excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. You may step down, you're excused. Want to please sign order, please?
Sure.